Welcome to ZenEnergy, a space for clarity, compassion, and meaningful orientation. ZenEnergy Organization is a nonprofit created to help people pause, listen inward, and return to one steady point. These reflections are offered as a moment of steadiness, a little more room to breathe, and one honest next step. Today's reflection is called the stillness within. There are moments when life feels full of movement, thoughts moving, responsibilities moving, decisions moving, emotions moving, other people's needs moving, the future moving towards us before we feel ready. And inside all of that movement, it can become difficult to feel ourselves clearly. The mind begins to reach, the body begins to tighten, the heart begins to look for certainty, and the world can feel as if it is asking too much, too quickly, from every direction. When this happens, we may think we need a bigger answer, but sometimes what we need first is not an answer. Sometimes what we need is stillness. Not stillness as escape, not stillness as passivity, not stillness as pretending nothing matters. Stillness as a place within us where the noise no longer leads. A place where we can ask, what remains steady? There's a kind of confusion that comes from not having enough information. And there's another kind of confusion that comes from having too much movement inside. Too many thoughts, too many fears, too many possible outcomes, too many obligations, too many voices, too many unfinished things asking to be held at the same time. When everything moves at once, the mind can become crowded. And when the mind is crowded, even simple things can feel difficult. A small decision becomes heavy. A delayed reply becomes meaningful. A practical task becomes emotional. A temporary obstacle begins to feel permanent. A tired body begins to sound like a failing life. This is why stillness matters. Stillness gives the mind enough space to see proportions again. It does not erase what is difficult. It simply helps us stop placing everything at the same distance from the heart. In the work of Zen energy, clarity does not mean forcing certainty. Clarity often begins more humbly. It begins when we stop being completely ruled by noise. It begins when we're able to say, this is moving in me. This is loud in me. This is asking for attention. This is asking for care. But beneath it, what remains steady? That question changes the relationship. Instead of asking, how do I solve everything? We ask, where can I stand? Instead of asking, how do I make all of this disappear? We ask, what is still true? Instead of asking, how do I control the whole outcome? We ask, what is the next honest movement from here? Stillness is not the absence of life. Stillness is the inner place from which life can be met without losing ourselves. Many people imagine stillness as silence. But stillness is not only silence. A room can be silent when the mind is racing, and a life can be full of sound while something within remains steady. Stillness is not emptiness. It is not numbness. It is not withdrawal. Stillness is a form of inner orientation. It is a place within us that can remain present even when thoughts are moving. It is a place that does not need to react immediately. It is a place that can wait long enough to hear what is real. Sometimes stillness first appears through the body. A slower breath, a softening in the shoulders, a slight release in the chest, a moment when the hands stop gripping, a sense that we do not have to answer this second. Sometimes stillness appears as a simple recognition. I am tired. I need more information. This can wait. This is not mine to carry alone. This is not clear enough to trust yet. This path still feels aligned. This path no longer fits. This next step is enough. These recognitions are not dramatic. They may not feel like revelation, but they matter because they come from a steadier place. The noisy mind often wants a dramatic answer. It wants certainty, proof, a guarantee, a final resolution, a sign that everything will be okay. But stillness within often gives something smaller. Not because it is weak, because it is precise. It gives one true sentence, one boundary, one breath, one next action, one place to stand. The noisy mind may say, I need to know the whole future. The stillness within may say, you need to sleep before deciding. The noisy mind may say, you must make them understand. The stillness within may say, you have already said enough. The noisy mind may say, you are behind. The stillness within may say, you are building in the time your life allows. The noisy mind may say, if this matters, it must happen now. The stillness within may say, what is real can withstand a little time. This is why stillness is not weakness. Stillness can be very strong. It takes strength to not obey every urgent thought. It takes strength to not turn every feeling into an action. It takes strength to not confuse intensity with truth. It takes strength to pause when the old pattern wants to rush. Stillness is not the opposite of action. Stillness is what makes the right action possible. Without stillness, action can become reaction. We move because we're afraid. We speak because we are hurt. We choose because we are pressured. We hold on because we are lonely. We let go because we're exhausted. We say yes because we want peace. We say no because we want control. But from stillness, action changes. We can move with more honesty. We can speak more cleanly. We can wait without collapsing. We can choose without abandoning ourselves. In ZenEnergy, finding what is steady is one way we return to stillness. When we ask what remains steady, we're not asking for perfection. We're asking for the part of the situation that can be trusted. Maybe the steady thing is a value, compassion, clarity, truth, responsibility, dignity, protection, patience. Maybe the steady thing is a boundary. I cannot keep giving to this in the same way. I need clean information. I need consistency, not only warmth. I need to protect my time. I need to honor my body. Maybe the steady thing is a task. Make the call. Save the file. Send the message. Rest. Return tomorrow. Do one thing well. Maybe the steady thing is a recognition. This is not the whole story. This is not the right moment. This is not mine alone. This is still unfolding. This is already complete. When we find what remains steady, we do not have to be carried away by everything that moves. Stillness also teaches us about timing. There are moments for movement. There are moments for building, speaking, launching, showing up, entering the room, making the decision, taking the next step. And there are moments for not forcing. Moments to observe, to let the body recover, to allow the dust to settle, to wait for better information, to stop turning uncertainty into urgency. Stillness helps us know the difference, not perfectly, but more honestly. Without stillness, every pressure can disguise itself as timing. With stillness, we can ask, is it truly time to move? Or is this only discomfort asking me to do something quickly? This question is especially important when the heart is involved. The heart can create powerful movement. Longing moves. Attachment moves. Hope moves. Disappointment moves. Memory moves. Tenderness moves. And because these feelings are real, they can feel like direction. But not every movement of the heart is an instruction. Sometimes the heart needs to be held, not followed immediately. Sometimes the heart is grieving. Sometimes it is remembering. Sometimes it is reaching towards what felt familiar. Sometimes it is asking for a reassurance. Stillness does not reject the heart. It gives the heart a safer place to speak. In stillness, we can say, this feeling is real. And also, what remains steady? That question protects us from making a home inside ambiguity. It helps us notice the difference between warmth and structure, between attention and commitment, between possibility and action, between a feeling of being moved and the reality of being chosen. Stillness does not make us less loving. It makes love more truthful. It helps us stop confusing emotional intensity with belonging. It helps us stop asking a feeling to carry what only structure can hold. Stillness also protects our work. When we're building something that matters, there will always be more to do. Another page, another file, another fix, another post, another decision, another detail that could be improved. Building can become its own kind of movement. Even meaningful work can turn loud. Stillness asks, what actually matters now? What is essential? What can wait? What is complete enough at this stage? What is the next right action, not the next anxious action? This is how we keep meaningful work from becoming another form of pressure. The work matters, but the builder matters too. Stillness does not ask us to abandon responsibility. It asks us to carry responsibility from a deeper place, not from panic, not from self-erasure. not from the belief that everything will collapse if we stop for one breath. From steadiness, from discernment, from the part of us that remembers, I can do one thing at a time. I can choose what is mine. I can return to what is true. I can let the noise move without letting it lead. So, if you're listening today and your mind feels crowded, you do not have to force calm. You do not have to become perfectly still. You do not have to silence every thought. You might simply pause long enough to ask, what is moving in me right now? Then, what remains steady? Maybe the answer is small. Maybe it is only one word. Rest. Wait. Begin. Stop. Ask. Return. Enough. One true word can be enough for this moment. One steady recognition can change the next step. This is the invitation of stillness. Not to leave the world, but to meet the world from a place that has not been completely taken over by its noise. To remember that beneath the movement of thoughts, beneath the urgency of the day, beneath the pressure to solve everything, there may still be a place within you that knows how to stand. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. And from that steadiness, the next step can appear. So today, perhaps the invitation is simple. Do not ask the loudest part of you to lead. Pause. Listen beneath the movement and ask what remains steady, and begin again from there. Thank you for spending this moment with Zen Energy. May you leave with a little more clarity, a little more steadiness, and one small next step. To learn more, visit ZenEnergy Organization at ZenEnergyZen.org or explore our Web3 presence at ZenEnergyOrg.eth.limo. If you feel moved to support this work, donations to ZenEnergy Organization help sustain our mission and may be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law.